Or you want sorry. I thought it was your special way of doing it. So everyone has their own special thing. It's okay.
So, reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, translations and purports by Srila Prabhupada, Madhya Lila, chapter 6, entitled The Liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Today's verses are verse 262 and 263. So I'll read verse 262 and then we'll read verse 263 together a few times only because there's just only a half hour left. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, just in case we don't know the context here. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has just done a big no-no, so to speak. He's changed the scriptures. There's a very famous verse, which we'll speak about, which could be read in an impersonal way. In other words, with a Mayavadi conclusion of mukti or liberation as the ultimate goal. And he just became a devotee. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya just underwent a big transformation by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's such a devotee now, such a bhakti yogi versus what he used to be mainly an impersonalist, that he, when reading this particular verse, he sees that particular statement, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to speak in this particular verse, and he changes it. He literally crosses it out and changes the word. And Mahaprabhu, of course, is externally telling him, no, you shouldn't do that, but internally very pleased. And he gives him the ultimate explanation of what the verse actually means in a few verses from now. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe mukti pade iha pata hoy, bhakti pade kene pada ki tomara ashai. Is the Bengali pronunciation okay?
Yeah.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately pointed out, in that verse, the word is mukti pade, but you have changed it to bhakti pade. What is your intention? So the verse is, Tatenu kampam susamikshumano bunjana evatmakritam vipakam rivagva purdi vidadan namaste jiveta yumukti pade sadaya bhak. The last word is mukti pade sadaya bhak. So you've read about this verse a few days ago, right? By the way, what I'll do, I'll speak a little bit about this verse because it's such an important verse for us. And then we'll go into the verse in question, verse 263. When I was a brahmachari in the Los Angeles temple, age 21, my first trip to Mayapur, to the Mayapur festival, we took a flight from Calcutta from Los Angeles to Calcutta with a stopover in Thailand, in Bangkok. You all know Vijay Prabhu. So he was living in Los Angeles at that time, training us up as book distributors at the Los Angeles airport. And when we had our stopover in Bangkok airport, we had about an hour layover. And Vijay asked me, do you know this verse? Tatena kampam susamikshumano? And I was like, no. So he said to me, you're not getting back on that plane unless you learn this verse in the next hour. I was joking, but still I meant it. So I took it seriously, so I was in the corner. I learned it in an hour. And just before boarding back on the plane, he asked me, so do you know the verse? Recite it to me. And I recited it in halfway, I think. He's like, okay, you can board.
Yeah, I know.
So that verse has been, kind of stuck with me for so many years. And as a matter of fact, in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada says explicitly, quote unquote, this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam should be the guide of all devotees. He goes on to explain that theme, but imagine that statement should be the guide of all devotees. And what's the translation? My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions to his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, body, and words, inherits the kingdom of God because it has become his rightful claim. Now when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw that word though, he saw mukti pade, which literally means liberation. And the impersonalists, that's their goal, liberation. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, having just been transformed into a Vaishnava by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saw that verse, he thought to himself, wait a second, the goal is not liberation. I thought it was liberation, that's what the Mayavadis think, but now that I'm a devotee, now that I'm a Vaishnava, I understand that the goal is bhakti, nothing but bhakti, pure devotion to Krishna. So this word here, mukti, is contrary to our devotional conclusion. So that's what is being discussed here in this particular word. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, look, in this word, in this verse, the actual word is muktipade. It's not bhaktipade. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted to change it to bhaktipade. It means you attain bhakti instead of mukti. I don't want to get into it because it's not my turn to speak on the particular verse. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the siddhanta on that in a few verses. Mahaprabhu says, since I can understand Krishna according to these, he basically explains there's two meanings to the word muktipade. One is indeed liberation, but the other word is that muktipada literally means Krishna himself. So you attain Krishna if you have that attitude described in the verse. So it's not an impersonal conclusion. It actually is a devotional conclusion. So we'll hear more about that in a few verses. But now the verse in question today is the next thing that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, and it's regarding the superiority of devotional service in comparison to impersonal realization. So please repeat after me. We'll recite the verse together. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanaka. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal. Bhagavat bhakti vimukera hai danda keval. Let's see if we can sing it together. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal. Can you sing it? Yeah.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal. Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval. Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval.
Ladies.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal.
Bhagavat
Bhagavat bhakti vimukher hai danda keval. Bhattacharya kahe bhakti samanahe mukti pal. Bhagavat